I heard all this sovereign citizen stuff, but I need some proof because I don't have time to be putting all this energy into this stuff, and you can't show me no proof. You're just telling me this and that and that and that. Look, I done heard all this stuff. I heard you say this. I want some proof. Otherwise, I ain't even ready to pay this no attention, honey, because I got work to do. I got other stuff to think about, and if you can't give me proof, I don't want to know. Do you need proof to know that the laws work for you and how to use them? Well, we're going to go into that today. I'm yours truly, Diva Laree with the UNA University, UNA Republic. We're going to do this thing. Let's talk about the proof, baby. We're going to show it today. Diva, watch out. Yes. UNA. Yeah. Let's do this thing. Yours truly, Diva Laree, in the house with the UNA Republic and UNA University. Yeah, y'all. Load on in. Yeah. We're going to get to this thing we're dealing with today. Show me the proof. Show me the proof, Diva. I want to know. I want to see it before I give you my time and my energy. Show me the proof. Yeah. We're going to talk about it today. Everybody who wants to know, where is the proof? We're going to get on it. So come on in. And let's get to this session. Yeah. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. If you're in the room, I want you to leave a message. I want y'all to like and share. I want you all to comment. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to know how you're doing, what you're feeling, so that we can get you to that next level that you want to be at. All right. We're talking about law today. Law. Today I'm going to go into the hierarchy of law. We're dealing with that because I want to make some things clear. I've heard a couple of terms this week that I need to go over. And I also want to go over who we're looking for in the UNA University. Some of you all know we are loading up for the winter 2023 season starting in January. If you're interested in being a part of that, leave a message so that we can get you. Leave a message in the inbox. Sunset Beach is in the house, and she's going to make sure she gets your information in the event that for whatever reason you're not able to leave it with us. Now, what are we talking about here today? We're talking about law, and we get a lot of people who come at us and it's, hey, I want some proof. Show me the proof. If this ain't real and all this, because I don't know nobody who's done it. Okay, so we're going to get into that. I'm going to go over some of my own personal experiences. I'm going to go over some experiences that I've had with my clients and students. And then we're going to understand also the spiritual side of this game. All right, we're going to go into that. So that's going to be the universal law side, because a lot of people are not understanding why their processes don't work. You might have heard people say, oh, my process doesn't work because of this or whatever. We're going to go into why a process will work for one person and not the next person. They might be identical, but there's energies underneath this whole game that if you're not aware of, well, you're going to have a problem with your processes. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to talk about our channel and here with UNA Republic and what we look for in the people that we deal with. And you all have heard me talk about this. For us, it's not so much about quantity as much it is about quality of the people that we deal with. All right. So yeah, we'd love to have numbers. That's great. We'd love to have the masses. That's great. But if the masses are not of the quality of people that we're looking for, then we're okay. If they don't find this a place for them, we respect that. All right. So let me help to understand what quality is. Okay, when we're dealing with people, because when we're talking about my people this and my people, I spoke about this before. My people are people who have integrity. They're people who have compassion, people who are honest. They're manifestors. Their eagerness of knowledge. These are people, they are eager for, not, they're hungry for it, thirsty. They want the knowledge. And they are willing, this is most important, willing to acknowledge their own issues, willing to recognize your own ish. Because one of the things we're not understanding in this dimension and what's going on is that all of this stuff outside of us is only a reflection of what's going on within. If you're not willing to recognize who you are and the fact that you are bringing these energies to you, whatever they are, it doesn't matter if it's a DUI or it's a car accident or some domestic violence, you are responsible for all of that. And this really is the biggest part of why we have the university, because people think paperwork is going to free them. Your knowledge of self frees you. And when you come into the university, we're not just talking about you getting some money and a TDA and you can get rich quick and all that. That's not what it's about. It's about knowing self, because once you know self, all of these other laws that we deal with, they're going to become child's play. But as long as you're thinking you're angry, you're in a state of victimhood, you're not going to be able to maneuver in this dimension, because you're going to continue to throw stumbling blocks up for yourself. That's important. So we are looking for quality people, because there's a lot that we don't know about law, and the natural laws and the universal laws. Those are the ones that we are ignorant of. Those are the ones that are used against us, because we don't recognize that we're the ones who's causing all the problems. So you've got to at least be willing to learn, because if you're coming in here and you're desperate, I just need some money, Diva. Where to show me the money, Diva? I want the proof so I can go and get this TDA. I can't help you. If you're not willing to learn, then you're not ready to become sovereign. Because these laws, they're very heavy. They're very powerful. And with a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility. So I'm going to go in this briefly, because the other reason why I can't just put out all of this information over the public, because people have taken these laws and this information and they have used it to hurt other people. And when you do that, that is an energy that must come back to you. So we want you to come into the university so you can, first of all, recognize who you are, and then be responsible with these newfound powers and information that you get ready to get. We want quality people, because the last thing I want to hear is somebody using these techniques to go out and harm somebody. And then that energy ends up coming back on them and possibly me. No, I don't want that. We want quality people. That's important. Now, I want to go into the spiritual nature of this game. I'm going to put these laws up before I hit the wrong thing. 1 second. So I want to put these laws up so that we can understand this. All right. I talk about the hierarchy of law and why they're so important, because before I get into that, I need to talk about this. I've heard that term at least twice this week, the term sovereign citizen. Sovereign citizen. And I need to put this list up right now. It's called the hierarchy of law. If you don't have it, you can go and pull this down. Check the link in the bio. There's a link tree, and you'll be able to pull this hierarchy of law down. And you need to keep it and put it on your wall and all of that. Thank you for the flowers. Thank you for the love. Everybody who's in the house. Let me put my spectacles on so I can see who's in the house. Let's see. Princess. Jay Sweet. Isn't that an oxymoron? Thank you, Jay. Yes, it is. I'm ready to go over it right now. Thank you for the love, Princess. And Jay for sharing the live. Nadra, thank you for following. All right. So now let's go into this thing. Sovereign citizen. This is a hierarchy of law chart. Once again, if you don't have this, this is very important. This chart is going to help you to recognize where you stand in this game. Now, up here, understand all of these are laws. Universal law, that's the highest law. This is the spiritual side. Whatever energy you put out must come back. Natural law deals with how we live in abundance. Laws of maxim, this deals with God's law. You're right here as a sovereign. All right? You're a sovereign. There's a creator, and that creator gave you rights right here in these, what we call the maxims of law. These are your rights. As a sovereign, you have rights to those. The problem is you come all the way down here. Oh, look how far I'm going down here. Citizen. A citizen, if you can see it. A citizen is a slave of the corporation to which it pledges. You don't have rights as a citizen. You have privileges. So now, if you are a citizen, you're a slave. As a sovereign, you're a master of self. You're God. So these are oxymorons. Either you're a citizen with privileges or you're a sovereign with God-given rights. So don't put these two terms together. Sovereign and citizens, they're oxymorons. Slave and a God. Master of self right here. So the other thing about that term, it was created by these entities. Well, actually, there's a group that uses this, and they've been called terrorists. So when you get a cop or somebody calling you a sovereign citizen, they're calling you a terrorist. Now, somebody calls me that, and that's defamation of character. They're trying to get sued. Call me a sovereign citizen. And you're trying to get sued because you're calling me a terrorist. You defaming my character. There's a problem there. So those are an oxymoron, as my brother said, or that term rather is an oxymoron, as my brother said in the messages. Can you be a sovereign and a citizen? No, Jay. Because you're saying you're a slave. You know who the sovereign citizens are. Those are the cops. A sovereign citizen is somebody who thinks they have authority when they really don't. Right down here. That's a cop. Sovereign citizen. They think they're sovereign, and they think they have power and authority to do things and arrest you when they really don't. And the problem is, if you are calling yourself a citizen, if you say you're a citizen, then they do have rights, because what you said is you're a dead entity and that you're under their authority. What you said is you're a dead entity and that you're under their authority. When you start recognizing who you are and you've made claim to who you are, then they have to start respecting that, because what you're going to learn is that a cop is not true government. They're private agents that are hired by another private corporation to police the property of that corporation. Notice what I said. A cop or a policy enforcer. They're enforcing the policies of the corporation right down here. See it right here? Here are your federal codes. Corporations are already down here. Corporation cannot even create laws. But you up here as a sovereign can. Who's the corporation? United States Corporation. Notice I didn't say United States of America. I said United States Corporation. They're all the way down here. All right? And you, as a sovereign, you have the ability to create laws. But when you say you're a citizen, you down here then. You become their property. As a living being, you're supposed to be up here talking about your God-given rights. So the deal is the policy enforcer is only enforcing the policies of these corporations. Well, if you pull out a driver's license, then what you said is you're under their jurisdiction. So the problem is what you've been calling yourselves. That includes the term black, minority, African American, Negro, colored. All of those are contracts. We're going to get into that. I won't get into that today. I just want to clear up that term. It is an oxymoron. And for many reasons, you want to be clear that anybody calling you that, they're trying to defame your character and they need to be put in their place. All right. Spiritual nature of the game. As I spoke about, UNA stands on universal laws. That is our basis. That is our foundation. Because when you are understanding these laws, then all of this right here becomes child's play. This becomes child's play. And for us, we go right here. This is federal codes. This is as far as we go right here. Federal codes. That's it. We're not dealing with these code statutes and ordinances. You talking about a seatbelt law, cell phone law, speeding law. That's not even a law. They're just code statutes and ordinances. We write laws. We the ones who write laws, not y'all. Y'all don't write laws. We do that. All right. So what I want to get into is processes. All right. So we get people who will say, Diva, I paid somebody to file my paperwork and I'm still not free. Well, that is because paperwork cannot free you. Your knowledge of self is the only thing that frees you. Paperwork does not free you. Now, let's understand this. If you are ignorant, meaning you don't have a knowledge of the law, then you cannot have freedom. Ignorance and freedom do not coexist. They can't be together. If you want to have freedom, you got to have knowledge. So when you're coming into the university, you got to be coming in here because you have the desire to learn. You want to know it. You want to understand how to stand on every last one of your God-given rights. You got to want to know. Not, I'm just here for the money because I just want to know how to pay my house note, how to pay my car. No, you better know what to do, because I get people coming at me all the time about money. And then when I say, okay, when the IRS pulls up on you, what do you do? Now they're talking about, I'm scared. Well, we just role playing right here. You mean you scared right now? And we're just role playing? Imagine if they really pull up on you. You asking for hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. And you don't know how to stand on it? If they come at you, yeah. You've got to learn how to stand first. Before you start talking about, I want to get all this money. You got to have a thirst for knowledge. Otherwise, you're just playing games. So I want to go in on a particular situation that I've had, because again, I told you I'm going to speak about some of my own personal experiences along with those of my students and my clients. Now, as I said, when we're getting into this thing, it's not just about the paperwork. It also deals with your spiritual energy. All right. Now, I'm going on this because there have been situations where we've had this person puts in a process and it works for them. This person doesn't and it doesn't work for them. Those are energies. All of these things, everything, it doesn't matter what you're dealing with. It starts with spiritual side first. So I'm going to give you an example of a situation whereby I had a client who was had her child taken from her. And so when she came to me, okay, first of all, her ex-husband was trying to have her locked up, put in jail. She owed back child support, and her child had been taken away from her. So my thing was to help her get her child back, avoid jail time, and deal with the child support. So what I was able to do was to, first of all, I had to talk to her. I was like, listen, this is a spiritual issue. You have to get yourself in order. You've got to clear up the spiritual energies on this side. Now, I'm going to be able to help you get your child back. I'm going to be able to help you not go to jail. And I'm going to be able to help you deal with the child support. However, he's going to keep coming. And until you deal with this spiritual issue on this end, he's going to keep coming. All right? You wants to use a 07. I'm just setting that up so that I can come back to you. All right. User, thank you for wanting to join. Now, so what happens is I prepare her for court. So basically, I created a court for her, created a financial instrument, and we deal with that in the university. And we also dealt with putting her and her child under trust. I also had to consult her on what to say when she goes into court. Okay, yeah, but I don't want to do that right now. I'm in the middle of a session. So what to do when she comes up into court, all right? So now, after consulting her, and she went through all of that, because this was a child support case, and it had to do with domestic violence as well, all right? For some things that she had said and done. Now, she goes into court, and she says what I told her to say. And there are things that we show you what to say in court, how to avoid taking the charge. And she was able to say that. The judge couldn't hit her with the charge, so then she didn't have to pay child support, or it was paid in a different way. All right. Also, when she went into court, she had her own court. So we learn how to create our own court, and we take our court into their court. So there's another level of protection when you're going in there, because we really like to avoid their courts at all costs. However, if there comes a time when you have to go in, we make sure that our court is present before we go into their court, and we learn what a court is. All right, so she goes into court. She doesn't have to pay the fine. They were trying to lock her up because of what she said and what she knew and how she knew how to stand. They couldn't get her. All right. And then third, because her child was under trust, she was able to get her child back. All right. So now in this case, again, we won. But I let her know, you've got to get the spiritual side in order, because he's going to come back. And he did. And now when he did, now she's not knowing how to apply the information, first of all. This is why I like to deal with my students only. I like quality, people who want to learn, because you have to know how to stand. It can't just be that, listen, and let me go into what a lawyer is. All right, so you can understand what a lawyer is. As a sovereign, you can't have a lawyer. If you have a lawyer, you're not sovereign. All right, what a lawyer is someone who works for the state. Their first duty is to the court, not you. When we're talking about somebody who's a bar licensed, attorney. Just a bar member is what they are. It's just a membership card. Thank you, Princess. It's a membership card. That's all it is. And so what does bar mean? Y'all take notes. It means British Accredited Registry. British Accredited Registry. And what that means is that there's these documentations that are registered under the British Corporation. Now, I've told y'all there's a difference between the United States Corporation and the United States of America. The United States Corporation is owned by Britain. And there is a British Accredited Registry, which is an organization that they run to keep other people out of law. Well, what happens when you get a lawyer? Well, they are a member of this association over here. And this is not government, by the way. They represent themselves as government, but they're not. They're private corporation. And so what happens is you get a lawyer, and your lawyer is working for them. This is why there are things. First of all, the lawyer has been trained by these people. These people are not going to tell them true law. They're going to tell them what they need to know to keep them a slave too. So they become a member of this bar. They're a slave to this bar now, because there are certain things, first of all, they haven't been taught. And even if they did know, they couldn't tell you because they would be disbarred, because their responsibility is to protect this corporation, this corporation is owner of the courts or the judges in the courts. All right. So if you have a lawyer, you have someone who is going to silence you. There are things that they can't say and they can't tell you. And even if they could, their responsibility is to the court first. All right. This is why, you've ever heard of people going into court and they talking about some, the Constitution say that blah, 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 blah. And the judge is like, be quiet. I'm going to hold you under contempt. I'm going to put you in jail. I'm going to lock you up if you don't close your mouth. Why are they saying that? Well, you got to understand, when we're talking about the British Accredited Registry and we're talking about the Constitution, there's more than one Constitution. Well, these people have a Constitution that's under the British Accredited Registry, and it's copyrighted. Listen up, pay attention. It's copyrighted. So because it's copyrighted and you come here and you're talking about the Constitution saying we're going to lock you up if you don't be quiet, because you are infringing on copyrighted material. You're not a bar licensed attorney. You don't have the right to be quoting our copyrighted material. So you go to jail for copyright infringement and don't recognize that this is a $10,000 to $50,000 fine because you're trying to quote their material. But when you start quoting what God said, they can't copyright this. These is what we start talking about right here. Maxims of law. What God said. We start quoting our treaties. These are laws. All of your Constitution, that's law. All right? So this is why it's important to come into the university so you can respect the laws, the highest laws, and understand who you are. All right? So y'all have ever heard of that saying? And I'm gonna mess this all up, but you all know what I'm talking about. It says a fool, someone who represents themselves has a fool for a client. All right, let's understand what that means. When you are a defendant, you are considered a fool, an imbecile. This is not to say that you should not represent yourself. They give you that saying to make you think, oh, it's crazy to represent yourself. No, it's not. There's somebody giving you half of the saying, and you're not understanding what it means. But a defendant is a fool, is an imbecile, a defendant. All right? If you have a lawyer representing you, you have no legal standing. you're an imbecile. But when you represent yourself, then you're sovereign. So you got to understand, when you walk into court, there's you who's representing yourself as the spiritual living being. And then there's the defendant, which is the all capital letter dead fictitious corporation. Now, some of y'all know what I'm talking about when I say straw man. There's a straw man there, and then there's you, the spiritual being. That straw man is a imbecile, is a fool, because it's not living. So you gotta understand where these sayings come from, and the reason why people put them out is to keep you from knowing what law is and how to stand up for yourself. Because if you get a lawyer or anybody else to represent you, you cannot say that you're a sovereign, because you don't know law. You have no standing. You have no voice. And until you learn how to stand and speak for yourself, then you are a child. You're an imbecile. You're foolish in the eyes of the law. All right? So, in recognizing just the fact that she was able to get her child back, she didn't clean up this energy on this side. So what happens is he comes at her. There are two things at play in here in this situation. Number one, she didn't really know law. This is why, again, I want to deal with quality people who are thirsty for the knowledge, not just trying to get the paperwork, because if you don't know how to work it, then it's not going to work for you. You've got to use it as a weapon, as a tool. That's like having all of this most powerful tool in the world, most powerful gun, and you don't know how to take the safety off. It's no good. The other thing at play here is the fact that she didn't clean up the spiritual energy. Once again, quality people are willing to recognize their own ish. You're willing to recognize your own ish and come to grips with it. That's everybody in this society. That's where the biggest issue is, that we're not willing to recognize the energies that we're putting out. And part of that has to do with the fact that we are ignorant of the universal laws, these laws right here. Because when we recognize these, I'm telling you, everything here is going to become child's play. You can manipulate this and this whole third dimension to be whatever you want it to be. But you got to be right here. You got to be on point spiritually. I want to say this, and if you all have any questions, thank you, J.C. Solomon. I appreciate the love. If you all have any questions, I want you to leave them so I can check them. And then to user, stay tuned. I'm gonna bring you on if you want to come on. So I want to say this to my people who are out here learning. Stay away from the people who are naysayers and people who are coming at you. I want proof. Give me some proof. Show me some proof, because I need. Listen. If you have people who have that type of mindset, they're really not ready to learn. All right, because they're in it just trying to get a quick fix. I need some proof, and it's not that there's not proof. I had this one guy to come to me recently. He said, I want some proof. Give us some proof. And I said, yeah, I have proof. And he was going in on one of my students who had told him she has proof, but she didn't want to deal with him anymore because she didn't like his energy that he was coming at her with. So I reach out to him and I say, hey, brother, let me know if you have any questions. I just asked her if she had proof. I asked, she didn't want to tell me if she had proof. I said, well, I'm here. She's my student. And so if she has proof, then you can guarantee I got even more, because I got other students and other clients. So do you want to ask me? Now, I'm all right. This y'all trying to act like I'm something wrong with me. It ain't never wrong with me. Okay, but I'm asking you this for the third time. I'm here for questions. Yes, we can show you proof. I ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm letting you know right now. There are some people who enjoy being angry. There's some people who enjoy being a victim. There are people who choose to continue to be a citizen They choose to be a slave. I said it, and I meant it. People choose to be a slave because there's enough information out here to show you and let you know that the people who are running havoc or wreaking havoc in this society, they're not even government. But once you learn law, they have to back off. Once you learn the true law, they have to back off. So avoid the naysayers. Avoid the people who are going to try to tell you you're crazy. Listen, if it's all about proof, all you need to do is just look for the laws. They are there. But if people are coming to you demanding that you show them proof, well, that's not somebody who's ready to learn. They're not quality at this time. All right, they're not quality at this time. You want to deal with quality people. Quality, once again, and I'm going to say this again so we understand what quality means. People with integrity, people with compassion, people who are honest, people who manifest, meaning they speak the things into existence that they desire. People who have an eagerness to learn. And most importantly, people who are willing to look at their own ish. All right, let me go on with this. I'm going to bring somebody on. So avoid your naysayers. Don't allow them to frustrate you. Write contracts, because they write contracts rather, and they don't recognize it. Just like the guy who I just told you about. I'm like, listen, I just want to know what you need to know. You have any questions? He's like, ain't nobody got proof because it don't exist. The proof don't exist. You just wrote a contract. When you spoke that, when you typed it, you wrote a contract. The proof don't exist. It don't for you. You will never see it because you are making it clear that you really don't want to see it. When you want to see it, speak it. There is proof. Universe, please show it to me. And it will appear. Well, like they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay. So when you're ready, speak it. And then the answers that you're looking for will appear. That's the spiritual nature of this game. It's not all about paperwork. I can show you something that works for me that it won't work for you, because if your mind is not right, if your energy is not right, and you're saying things like, oh, the proof don't exist, it ain't real, I don't believe it's real. Because if somebody's got to convince you of it, that means you're not ready for what they call the fortune. I mean, the quote unquote blessing. I don't use that term. But yeah, you're not ready for the fortune. You're not ready for the fortune if somebody has to convince you. Now, the fortune is going to find you when you know that it exists. All right? All right. Somebody asked about how I do about UCC contracts. We deal with UCC contracts. And so for those of y'all who don't know, a UCC is a financing instrument. All right. It gives value to whatever it is you're claiming. It is also considered a lien. And why is it so important? It's a part of the trust package. It's important because when you put that UCC down, nobody can do business with your all capital letter corporation or straw man without paying you what you have claimed is the value of your all capital letter straw man. So when you put your value down, and for example, a warrant, like they put out in the court, a warrant is a lien. Well, if your lien is down first, then they got to pay your lien before they deal with this warrant. Because with the warrant, that is where somebody is coming after your all capital letter straw man. Remember, the straw man is a dead entity. The problem is some of y'all are acting like your straw man. You think you are your straw man. That's all. Send a message in the inbox and I'll be glad to do a consultation with you. So you think you are your straw man. And the problem is when you claim to be a citizen, you're claiming to be dead. You're claiming to be property. And what's worse is if you haven't claimed the property, then you're claiming to be the property of the state of whomever corporation, the United States corporation, or whomever right here. You're claiming to be property. You got to learn that you're not property. You got to learn that you've got God-given rights. You got to learn that there's a higher law over you and how to stand under it so you can protect yourself. So it's not just, oh, the UCC contract. Yeah, you need to not only know the UCC, but all these other laws in between right here, how to use them, how to affect them, and how to put them into play in this society. All right. Let me see if I have any questions up here, and then I'm going to get to some and see if somebody wants to come on. That's all. That's all. Left a message 10 times. Are you for hire? Are you for hire? Leave a message, and I'll be glad to have a consultation. I deal with quality people. Quality. If you quality, then let's talk. Know about the up. I'm not sure what you mean, Carrie. I want to thank everybody for joining. Carrie, thank you for joining. Asmos, you said it, you meant it, and you're right. Thank you. At 65 years, don't know how to start. Asmos, and that's funny. I have a lot of people who've been in the sovereign or learning the information about sovereignty for 5-10 years, and they still haven't gotten their trust. And a lot of that has to do with fear of not having a support around you, because, when you're out here doing this, sometimes you feel like you're alone. And you are not. That's why you come into the university, so that when you're on your path and there's some kind of stumbling block or some question that you just don't know, you got access to somebody who can help you. I didn't have that. And that's one of the reasons why I started university, is because I wanted to be that for others who are on this path, and that you got questions, you've got stumbles, or you got whatever. So that's what the university is for, is to help you push through it and get those answers so you can get it done right away. You're not blocked. So Asmos, join us. We'd love to have you. Lucy, thank you for joining. Christopher, I got one question. I had a divorce fraud. A hearing officer signed off on it, then changed it, and my ex. Yeah, well, you can, again, we go into learning how to sue people. By the way, coming up, we have in winter season, we've got Back to Basics, which is dealing with getting your trust under order. We've got Whose Court Is It Anyway? And that's dealing with going from suing people from beginning all the way to creating your own court. So we've got the beginning, creating financial instruments, doing the administrative process, and then actually creating your own court. All right. And then we have banking seminar, and that is dealing with, once you've taken somebody through court, you can go through the Internal Revenue Service and force payment. All right. So we deal with all of that. Spiritual shackles have gotta go. All right, Princess, hit us up in the inbox so we can do a consultation. Sauce Bay says USC 242 and 42 USC 1983. Y'all look those up. 18 USC 242 and 42 USC 1983. Look them up. I'm trying to fly, tired of shackles. Love the font, Princess. Thank you. Let's see who else is in here. Manny says big facts. Thank you, Manny. Leroy, thank you for joining. Justin. All right. You can take a horse to the river, but you cannot force him to drink. That's right, Justin. So that's why I say to you all, avoid dealing with people who are coming at you with the energy as though you have to prove something to them, or they're not ready to listen, or they want to be argumentative. You want to step back, because that means that they're not ready. So you can't force people. And by the way, getting into the maxims of law, there's one of the maxims that says that it's against the law to try to force a contract on someone. When you're trying to force somebody to take your information, or you're forcing them to listen, you're breaking one of the higher laws. You cannot force somebody to listen. If they don't want to listen, then that's on them. You can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved. All right, that's why these things down here, these code statutes and ordinances, down here with these corporations where they're talking about, oh, the seatbelt law. You can't force me to save my own life. I get it. Oh, we're just trying to help you to save your life. You can't force me into that. You can't force me to wear a seatbelt if I don't want to wear a seatbelt. That's not a law. It's a code, statute, and ordinance. And that code, listen, I told y'all down here, anything down here, corporation on down, this right here is created specifically. Every last one of these laws are created specifically to take away your God-given rights up here. These laws down here are created specifically to take away your God-given rights up here. So all of these code, statutes, and ordinances, they come from the Bible. This is the Bible right here. These right here, the maxims of law, they come straight from the Bible. These people respect them, but you got to stand on them. Because if you don't stand on them, then you know what they're going to do? They're going to have you standing on down here as a citizen. You're going to be sitting as a citizen. You sit as a citizen and you stand as a sovereign. All right. So just keeping that in mind, all right, that it's important to recognize that we don't want to be doing things that are against the law. You can't force somebody to listen to what you're saying. If they don't want to hear it, don't let them frustrate you. Don't let them. And let me tell you something. Their energy, people's energy, is contagious. So you don't want to be around people who are like that. You want to shut them out because you got your own demons and spiritual entities that you got to deal with in yourself. So don't be hanging around people who are naysayers and, oh, it don't work and this ain't no, and this don't. What they're doing is creating a contract, and it's going to be true for them. But you need to walk away from them, because as soon as you start believing what they're saying, well, then you're going to start writing contracts that are going to be true for you. Only contracts that are true for us is that everything that we desire is within reach in accordance with natural law, because we live in abundance. Right here, we live in abundance. There's nothing that we can't have according to natural law, according to universal law. If you speak it, so shall it be. So don't hang around those people, because they write contracts and you don't want to be dealing with those kind of contracts. All right. And we're talking about the cosmic contracts, which are the most important. That's where everything comes from. That's where everything starts. All right. Let me give a couple of examples about what this process works for. All right. It's one thing once you get yourself under trust. And I've had so many students and clients, they'll say, hey, Diva, the police, they arrested me, but they had to let me go because they didn't find me in the system. If you're not in the system, then they cannot charge you. So they have to let you go. That's what happens when you're under trust. They don't have jurisdiction. They don't have authority. You've taken that authority away. But with that, please understand, you don't just get away with anything. That's why integrity is very important. What do you do when you think nobody is watching? Are you a thief? Are you prone to steal something? Are you prone to hurt somebody? Are you prone to do something that you know you're not supposed to do, but you do it because you think nobody is watching? The universe is always watching. You have a cosmic, what we call a cosmic account, a cosmic bank account, and it deals with all of your spiritual energies. You are always seen. You don't get away with anything. So that's why it's important to have integrity, because when you do, you become a master of self. And if you are not ready to be a master of self, if you don't have integrity, you need to stay down here. Stay down here as a citizen. I encourage you to stay down here as a citizen if you don't have integrity, because once you get up here as a sovereign, you have a lot of responsibility with all of the power that you have. You have to have integrity. Otherwise, the universe is going to rain down on you way heavier than this corporation down here could. You think You get it because, oh, I went to jail or whatever. Steal something when you up here. Do something that lacks integrity when you're up here. You have a higher level of responsibility now than you did down here. So you have to have integrity. You have to be spiritually sound. Otherwise, you're going to destroy yourself. You're going to blame it on other people because, I would never do that. Well, that's not what the universe said. This is why I know. I tell people, if you're going to talk to me, when you come to me and you're talking to me, talk to me like I know, because I already know, because I understand part of how the universe works. I understand well enough to know when somebody's telling me the truth or not. All right. Thank you, JC, for joining. Thank you for the love. And thank all of you all for your presence. Princess, you are the greatest. I appreciate you. Zira, thank you for joining. Wanda, that's all, says I need it. And so make sure you guys hit us in the inbox if you want any kind of consultation to be a part of the university. We would love to have you. Kingy 7.9, thank you for the love. Ricky King Dee Boy says, I don't want to hear this. Dee Boy, you got to swipe up. And then we say bye-bye. All right. God is the answer says, say that again. Which part you want me to say again? I say it again. Let's see. YG says, thank you. Thank you, YG. Keisha, thank you for joining. Amy says, in your car, no idea. Bless Goddess, I have to go. Okay, thank you. And make sure you all leave a message in the room. Do I have to authenticate the birth certificate? Carletta, we go through the authentication. What the first thing we deal with is the trust, however, but we deal with the authentication. We deal with your passport. We deal with your EINs. We deal with all of that. So if you want to become a part of the university, please join us. Alan, please leave a message in the inbox. And what we're going to do, leave your number. We're going to call you for a consultation and bring you into the university if you feel that our spirits are in alignment only. If our spirits are not in alignment, we respect that. Again, we want quality people and we want people who vibe with us. If you don't vibe with us, we respect that. You might need to go somewhere else to get the information, but leave a message. And we're going to have a consultation, and then we're going to bring you into the university if you feel you're great, you appreciate the energy. How can I become your student? I left that information, Alan. Leave a message. Let me see if I can figure out how to get with others. Suggested hosts. Nope, that's not it. Let me see. Guests. Let me see if I can bring somebody on. Go live together. Where is user? Let me see if I can find user in here. No, I don't see user. So let me see. Anybody wants to come on? Let me see. Let me see if I can invite somebody on. I don't know. JB me. I guess they have to accept. I'm new. I told y'all I'm a newbie, but I'm learning. I'm learning newbie style. So I did invite somebody on. Let me see. We Prosper Today. I like that name. Let me see if I can get We Prosper Today on, because I like that. All right. In the meantime, let me see if I have any other questions. Alan, I look forward to your inbox. Carletta, I look forward to your inbox. Sunset Beach, are you there? If you all have any problems getting to my inbox, please let me know. One second. And thank all of you all for joining. I'm just trying to see if I can, how I do this where I pull somebody on. Lightning, let's see, that's not it. All right. Do I have any questions or comments? I've gone into law with you guys a little bit. This right here is very important. If you don't have this, check the link in our bio so that you can scroll down and get our this document here, along with the universal laws as well. There's a list of 12 universal laws. Print them out. Put them on your refrigerator. All right. Give them to some friends. I'm new to this. I'm trying to get in the inbox. All right. Alan Karas, excuse me. Quill 96. All right, Sunset. Now, if you are not able to get it, Sunset Beach, please send Alan and like and share. Make sure you join us or subscribe, please, to UNA Republic. And you can also find us on UNA Republic on YouTube as well. So we're on TikTok and YouTube. All right. So now, if anybody wants to join, Carrie, did you have a problem getting to the inbox? Sunset Beach, are you in the house? If so, 1 second. All right. So if so, we'll get Sunset Beach to make sure she sends you a message. And anybody wants to go live with me, let me see. Y'all don't want to talk to me? So what should user? Let me see. That was user. What number was that? User 07. Who wants to talk to me? Nobody? Y'all scared? You scared? Somebody disappeared. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. If I don't have anybody who has any questions, we talked about law. Once again, remember, to my people out there who are learning and wanting to put this information down, congratulations. Keep learning, keep studying. Other things that these the trust and all of this information works with is mortgages, car loans, credit card bills, student loans, all of that. All right. So what we have to do is, again, learn the law, and then you learn how to apply it for all of those instances to clear up all of your debts. Because I want y'all to understand something. Everything is already paid, but you can't tap into that if you're not in the right mindset. If you're in a victim mindset, or you're in an angry mindset. I'm going to put up one of my favorite charts right now. I'm going to put up one of my favorite charts. The vibratory frequency chart. This is important. This is important. If you're down here, frustrated, aggravated, angry, greedy, hungry, give me the money, diva. Feeling like somebody owes you something, entitled. You down here. You're not in your right mind. We talk to people up here. Courage enough to ask. Courage enough to say to the universe, I desire to be free. Right here. This is where it starts. Right here. I desire to be free. And then we go from here. And we learn how to come out of this. You know, every now and then we'll hit this area down here. But we learn to bounce back up. We're here at reason and acceptance. We're up here at love. Willingness. Once again, to learn. These are the higher frequencies. This is where we dwell up here. So when you learn how to get your energies right, you're going to learn how to use these processes to affect everything, because everything is paid. You get to that point when your energy is right. You got to come in being willing to learn. All right, so I'm going to get out of here. Okay, so good. Sunset Beach has your information. Y'all stay on a higher vibratory frequency, okay? We're going to see you all Sunday. Also, I've had some of my students coming in for Sunday, all right? Sunday at 3 o'clock. You're interested? They're going to tell you what they have gone through in school, give you some insight about what they've done, all right? And so I want to say thank you all for joining. So what we're going to do is we're going to be out of here. Y'all leave a message if you want to be a part of UNA University. We are starting up winter 2023 for the UNA University, January 15th. I'm going to see y'all there. I love you. I'm yours truly, Diva Laree. I am out of here. Peace. Bye-bye. Yeah. Peace.